I know like maybe in business they might think like, oh, you need to do like this ad, this crazy thing, this innovative, like we had to innovate, we had to be new, we had to be ahead of the game, we had to be all these things. But one of the things that we did learn is just be like simple.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Driven. In today's episode, we're just gonna go over how 2024 looks for us when it comes to business-wise.
Yeah.
On the e-commerce side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I know that I think this is also good to keep track of our, throughout the years. Like, what did this year look like? Whether we hit it or not, and then accountability. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of the things that we're gonna say is gonna add a lot to anyone that may watch it.
Right.
So for 2023, I'll just get right into it. I know we had a lot. We learned a lot of things about ourselves and about the business. A lot of them. Focus, doing the thing that works consistently over and over again. You're gonna see something? Volume is another one, and then also doing things fast.
Yeah.
Because we gave the examples of like right now, like how we started the year. If we were to gonna keep going at that pace, we would be at the place we are now.
Mm-hmm.
Going at the slow pace, we will be there in 2029.
Yep.
So it's speed is another thing that we learned, and also people and the character that they have is more important, at least from my opinion now, with maybe like 10, 11 people that we work with. Character is extremely important. I know maybe in the future, like skill might be definitely something that is going to be looked at, but at the same time, the character that one possesses and whether they're fit for the company.
Yep.
And then I know for the media, we just started it it's actually last year. So
we started it in 2022 around November, but and then we pursued it all the way till January, February, March, like around March, and then we took quite a bit of time off because I know we had to go back into the business and actually just jumpstart the business again. And ever since then, it's been on autopilot. I know we just been recording here and there, and then it's just been on autopilot. We had, or at least on my end, I haven't made it a mission to dig deep and make it grow. But I know this time around, that's one of the things we are going to focus on like heavily, which is the media, growing the media side of the company, the social media side, and then also on the personal brand. And so that's going to be one of the focuses on my end. Then, with that, one of the things we had to do in order for me to completely focus and go all in on the media is just take away the things that I was doing on the business side. So I know first there was the images. We got someone to take care of the images. And then it was more on the growing the social media side. But I know someone is in charge of actually making the videos, not of just
pretty much editing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because when it comes to the growing the social media, you're still in charge of that.
Yeah.
For both, pretty much for all media.
Yeah, when it comes to the overall direction of what we need to do, yeah. But when it comes to, at least on the company side, the editing side, it's taken care of.
Right.
Yeah. So that's on my end.
And so delineation of roles is something that also that towards the end of the year, we are like, okay, you take care of the media and then I take care of the non-media. And so I think that's also another thing that is going to help us grow, the delineation of roles. And then I guess just going back also to the e-commerce side, the lessons learned. Those lessons learned, we're going to apply for 2024. So I know for this year, we have a goal. We have a goal of like the amount of products that we come out. We have goals that we have set.
Yep.
And then just by doing those goals, number-wise, we'll double. And so I know that comes with, new products, adding new categories of products. Also at the same time, increasing the efficiency of, for example, the customer service and also the images. Because that's something that, through artificial intelligence, I know that's something that we're going to be working on for this year. And I know this year is going to, just by the numbers, is going to double. And so just focusing on the things that we're working in 2023, continue doing in 2024. And then that should definitely lead to significant growth. But I think that at least on the e-commerce or on the business end, that's pretty straightforward and simple.
Are there any challenges that you see arising? Because I know on the media side, on my side, there's several challenges that I see, that need to be overcome. But at least on the e-commerce side, which we both still talk about, the e-commerce side. Both of us.
We pretty much like, you're in charge of something, I'm in charge of something, like, but then we still conversate about each thing.
one of them.
Like,
Yep.
I know you still ask me some things like, oh, what do you think about this, or
Yep.
what do you think about that, and in a similar way. Like I talk to you about, more than now than anything is like people problems.
Yep.
But and I guess just going into the question that you had asked, like, is there any challenges? And
From your point of view on the e-commerce side.
on the e-commerce side, yes, primarily, and this is something that I think you just realize once you get to that point. Like maybe before you read about it and kind of like get it, but you really understand it once you get there. Is at the beginning it was more about like the intricate stuff about like the details, like how do you do this on Photoshop, how do you do this for the listing, and those were the problems back then. Now it's more about people, getting the right people, keeping the right people, and just overall making like building a culture where people are want to come and work here, but at the same time are want to perform too. And so I think people is going to be the biggest challenge, and I think moving forward that is going to be the biggest challenge, because we're not really working on day-to-day anymore. And I know for you at some point we're probably going to get like pretty much a team too. And so I know at some point that may be too, but the biggest challenge right now that I do see is the people that are working here. And I know that's very vague, but I guess some examples of like and I don't mean it in that way, but like, because they're not kids, but at the same time, also like when you're an employee, you have a certain type of mentality. And so when it comes to attendance, the performance, also the way we communicate with each other, because one thing we also realize is people are very different, and they communicate in different ways. And so just coming about to communicate it in a way that both people understand, and also that not that they agree, but that they, I guess, meet together. Because you could be like more an abrasive and person, and I could be more of a gentle like person, but then we have to meet at a place where both of us are able to communicate it good. But yeah, and then that's at least what it looks like for like the e-commerce, which e-commerce, like on the business end, like business, like the inner workings per se. But I know on the media side, I guess similar to you, like what are some of the challenges that you do see, and like by the end of this year? And that's another question that I guess I do have, like, because I know it's a long-term play, especially the professional brand. The personal brand, I know that's the long-term play. As far as the business, I think it's, from what I've seen, it's incrementally increasing. Because I know, like, for example, on TikTok, I never used to see any vulgar tech designs video at all. Like for and I used to go to the page, like it and whatnot. I never used to see it. Now, every so often, when there's a video, like it pops up, and it does have like 20, 30, 40, 50 likes as an example to show with engagement. And so I, based on that, I'm like, okay, I'm assuming things are going at least in the right direction. And so what are some of the challenges, and where do you see the media side by the end of 2024? Because that's pretty much 12 months from now.
Well, with the media side, you pretty much said it in the beginning, or one of the biggest things you said it in the beginning. It's pretty much going to be a business starting from scratch. So when it comes to that, it's just more than anything a learning curve. Figuring out what works, figuring out what we should do, figuring out how to go about doing the work. I know right now there's two people working on, actually video editing, and then there's myself. Which one of them is working on just pure installation videos. The other one is working on social media as a whole. And then, me focusing more on the editing side of the professional brand. So it's just a learning curve. The second thing is, like you mentioned, the team is not there. So I still had to be involved on the day-to-day editing task. So it's just more than anything, the learning curve, and then also managing when is it going to be a good time to get other people? Does it make financially sense? How fast should we scale? Like how much money should we throw in? So that's the hardest part, because right now, like how you mentioned, it's going to be a long-term play, but then also it's not generating immediate results when it comes to financial wise, money wise. And so that's one of the things, is like kind of like it's a scale. So we have to see, okay, social media makes sense long term. So in order for us to grow quickly, we have to come out with a bunch of media, like a bunch of videos, a bunch of social media, a bunch of just engagement to people. But in order for us to get to that scale of producing a lot, it makes sense to get a team. But then, like I mentioned, like it's just trying to find the balance of how much money we should throw at it. You know, like do we need the people, the right time?
Yeah.
We're growing, so that's on that end. The other thing when it comes to that, I gave the projections or some of the goals that we were gonna hit on by the end of 2024, which is on each platform when it comes to the company social media. It's minimum it should be 10,000, which I know right now we have not quite a bit. We have quite a bit of not quite a bit of following. We have minimum following, but it's gonna start snowballing because like I noticed it right now. It's starting to snowball. We're just producing a bunch of content, posting every day. When it comes to, I think we post 2, 4, 6, and then another 3, 9. I think 12 pieces of content a day, just on the company side.
And then those, just to clarify, those 12, like, are they just like, for example, like the same video on different platforms?
Yes, but they're repurposed differently.
Right, because I that's one of the things that I have noticed. Like, for example, for one video on YouTube, you use certain music or certain sound, and then for another one, it's different.
Yeah, for each platform, the type of video performs different. The type of music you put, or if there's no music, or if there's going to be a voiceover. I know that's getting too much into detail, but each platform performs differently, and each platform, the type of content, the way it's made, it does matter.
I know, like, at the beginning of this, or not this year, last year, I know maybe the media was important, but it, like, we kind of like not sidetracked, but we started to focus on like the business. Now, towards the end of the year, media is gonna, it's gonna play a big and important role. And so, what is the purpose of, like, why did we, say, what, media, let's go hard on it?
More than anything, it's building a brand.
Yeah,
for both the professional brand and the company brand. Because I was giving the examples. Why are some people willing to pay $10 for a shirt? This shirt, it doesn't have a logo. People would pay probably $10, $10. Same, quality is good, the fit is good, and then you compare the same exact shirt, but all you have to do is put a logo on it. Put a Louis Vuitton, put a Nike, put an Adidas, put a Gucci. People are willing to pay $100.
Yeah,
and it's because they have that brand that is associated with that product. And so, like I was giving the example that pretty much a brand, it does two things to people. It changes their perspective, which is, why am I willing to pay more for one shirt over the other? And it changes their behavior. So brands like Apple, they launch a new product. They're like the iPhone 15 or the iPhone 16. People are automatically going to buy it.
No, definitely. And so it pretty much ties in with business. Like, so it's the same business. That's the thing. Like, and that's one of the things. It's just like complete different like roles. And so it completely ties in with the
not that it makes everything easier, but some of these influencers, they start a company. It does good off the bat. It does good because they have a following.
Brag.
I was giving you the example with Max Tuning and Sour Strips.
Yep.
Like, he had his company shirt or his company clothing, Ever Forward. And then all of a sudden he decided to, well, not all of a sudden, but he decided to start a candy company.
Yep.
And we started pretty much at the same time. And they're doing, I think, $40 million in revenue. And one of the reasons, like, he knows business, and, like
40?
40.
They're doing 24 million a year.
Really?
They've probably done 40 lifetime.
But regardless.
Yeah.
Like, there's no credit being taken away of what he's accomplished, but, a good portion of it, why it jump started, like, off the bat, is because he had that following. He had people buying.
No, definitely. Like, what is it called? Mr. Beast, the chocolate, the Prime.
Yep.
And so definitely brand is especially like how we transition to the, the new currency being attention, that through social media, video, and whatnot. That's gonna be extremely important. And I know, like, that's gonna be extremely important. And so I think we're on the right track. I know right now, like, we're pretty much building the foundation, because I know, like, through time is just gonna, like, build, and it's gonna snowball. It's just a matter of doing the work right now. And so, yeah, and
that's where I say some of the challenges are, right? Because we know that brand is important, but then on my end, it's still thinking, I'm like, man, how much should we invest in the media? Even though it's important, I know if we invest more on the e-commerce side, it's gonna give more of an immediate return. We don't want to waste the resources of the company. We don't want to pretty much split. So that's one of the challenges moving forward. As the months progress.
Because I know that also the situation is different than maybe 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago, I think we would have been all in, like, 100%. Let's reinvest everything.
Yeah.
Like, obviously not over leveraging without making dumb decisions. But now, like, we have to take. Okay, we don't have to, but we take, a salary. We take, we have to. We don't have to. We take income because we have now responsibilities, and so now it's very different. So now we have to account for that. We have to account for like the people working here. We have to account for benefit for California, for taxes, all these things. And so, but if that wasn't there, I feel like we would have been a lot more like on the aggressive side.
Yep.
Not that right now we're on the conservative side. It's just that we have all these things, responsibilities, the business, the personal, all these things to tend to. So like it definitely is like trying to balance the thing, but at the same time we have a goal. It's kind of like if you were to put it as like very conservative to very aggressive, I feel like we're like in the middle.
Yeah,
like in terms of like the like the pushing of the company.
Yeah, because if we were very conservative, we wouldn't be growing the way we are.
We wouldn't have hired editor. We wouldn't have hired another measurements. We wouldn't have hired these other positions that we did hire for if we were conservative. At the same time, if we were aggressive, we would have probably hired like
a lot more.
A lot. Another editor, someone to follow and record. Yeah, all these different things. If we would have been super aggressive, but I know at the moment, we're not gonna make it so that we're over leveraged, and that's one of the things. And also that that's I feel like that's also one of the reasons why we're in like the middle, in terms of aggressive and conservative, because we learned from our previous business. I think we were too ambitious. We kind of over leveraged ourselves, and that's what got us into a bad place. Because one bad batch of inventory purchase, and that pretty much was killed it. Similarly, I think right now, like if we were over leveraged and pretty much we were making nothing, one bad season, one bad economic downturn, it's pretty much done. And so I think that's also one of the things one of the reasons why we're more towards the middle.
That's a sidetrack, but even just on the company side, there are bigger responsibilities. Bigger as in like, if we do fail, it's gonna fuck us up. It's gonna be harder for us to get back.
Yeah, definitely with the commitments that we have, and it is definitely so. And so that's why, like, I think we're like towards like in the middle. We're not conservative, but we're also not like aggressive toward like companies like tech companies where they invest everything and then they get more money, and then like we're not there.
Because we could easily take loans too, but it doesn't even make sense.
No, it doesn't. Because at the same time, I feel like maybe our skills aren't at that level yet. And so I feel like the growth that we have, the natural growth, I think that's what, is going to allow us to get to that stage, but at the same time manage that stage and allow us to grow even more. Because like how I had mentioned that like Alexis or Juan in 2018 wouldn't be able to be in the position or wouldn't be able to handle it. So imagine just tripling, quadrupling, quintupling the size of Bogartec Designs. Like, do we have the skills that are required in order to run a business like that? And we don't know. That's the thing. And so I feel like incrementally growing, I think that's the safest and for the safest and best for like longevity.
Because quadrupling the amount of sales. Imagine how much inventory we have to buy.
Inventory, and then thinking about the logistics,
the logistical side,
the customer service is gonna increase.
Yeah, so imagine 1 month from the next, or like if we decide to, because we could. I'm pretty sure if we invest heavily, like we can make it grow, but then we're gonna be low on funds. One mistake, gonna set us back. Yeah, and this setback is gonna be big time.
Yeah, big time and hard to come. And when we say like the setback, it's pretty much just like the business going down with still the commitments that we still have.
Yeah, it's unknown.
Yeah,
it's unknown for us.
Yep.
I haven't had experience on like the media side. You haven't either.
And at the moment, no one has.
No one has. And if we were to hire someone, they're gonna be expensive.
Yeah. And so maybe like, and that's one of the reasons why like the business growth is extremely important. So we're able to get people that maybe have some understanding and some knowledge, so they could get us to the place we want to be faster. Because I know that's another thing that at some point, if we want to get further faster, I know we're gonna have to hire the people with the experience, and so that's a work in progress.
Yeah, because there's a lot of factors to consider, but
that's pretty much how 2024 is gonna look like. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
No, I think it'll be good for you to touch up on one of the things you mentioned, that we're gonna get there by pure math. We're not gonna do anything fancy. Yeah. We're not gonna do any.
And so I know we had a meeting in the end of the year last year, and one of the things that I did mention, I know like maybe in business they might think like, oh, you need to do like this ad, this crazy thing, this innovative, like we had to innovate, we had to be new, we had to be ahead of the game, we had to be all these things. But one of the things that we did learn is just be like simple, making things simple. Like it's like business is like, at least our, like what we know about our business, it's not hard, it's just a matter of executing. So I know for this year, like last year, whatever we did brings in the most of the sales. And so all we had to do is just double that to this year. And so it's just pure math. Like if we double our offers from last year, it's gonna just translate to doubling the sales. That's all we really need to do. Like, and that's what the goal is for this year, to double last year's from 2 million to 4 million. And it's gonna be accomplished through just pure math, just numbers, doing the same thing over and over again, without being creative, without being like innovative, without being without being cute about the things that we do. And so it's just, we're gonna get to those goals just by pure numbers, just by doing the things that is working. We're gonna do a lot of it, and we're gonna do it very fast.
Same thing on the media side. It's just volume in the amount of pieces we do. The more we do, the more people we're gonna reach, the more people are gonna be watching the videos, the more people are gonna go to the website because of the videos. The more we're going to get better, because it's just repetition. We see what works, we see what doesn't. We get better at our editing, especially the people who are editing. We see trends. I think more than anything, it's just volume on both sides. That's it. Nothing else. Simple. It's just
nothing innovative, nothing out of the ordinary.
Do more of it.
And I think that would be also a key lesson learned, is if there's something that works, just continue doing it. And do a lot of it, and do it fast. And that's extremely simple. And I think that speed, and that translates to like not just business, but also everything. Like for example, like if you want to get better in soccer, you just do it, and you do a lot of it, and just,
You want to get better conditioning, you just run more. That's it. You just run more.
You increase your tolerance, you go higher and higher and higher and higher. You just do more. And I think that's pretty simple. And I think if there's one piece or one thing that people should get out of like, having a business, is just continue doing what's working. Focus.
Regardless if it's boring or not, because I know some people, they want to switch up every 6 months to a year because it gets boring. It gets the same. They're like, I'm stuck. It's because you're not doing more of it. It's working for you. You got to a certain stage. You just got to do more of it, even though it's going to be boring. It is going to be boring, because we could be doing more exciting stuff, like coming out with new products, doing research, launching them, but
adding completely other categories, things like, car care and parts and so forth.
We could even start a new business. We could start a restaurant business. We could start some type of other business, but it's just sticking to what works and just doing a lot. That's it. Like how you mentioned, don't be cute, nothing fancy. It's just doubling.
But other than that, I mean, with that being said, we talked about how 2024 is going to look like, and I think it's going to be a great year. And so with that being said, in the comments down below, let us know how your 2024 is going to look like. And if there's nothing else to be said, my name is Juan.
My name is Alexis.
And we'll see you on the next one.